Hi, everyone. Welcome to this newest episode of Marketing, Art, and Science. I'm CMO advisor and host, Lisa Martin. This is a webcast where we really dive into the artistry, the science that is modern marketing today, how marketing leaders are flexing those levers, leveraging emerging technologies like AI, predictive, Gen AI, to really inform and transform the customer journey. My guest on this segment is Karen Dosanjh, my friend, who is a VP of Marketing at OSI Digital. Karen, it's so great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for having me, Lisa.
And I want to share with the audience a little bit about, I'm going to do a little bit of bragging on Karen's behalf. She was just named Woman of the Year in the Entrepreneurial Leader category at BC Biz Magazine, and she made the cover of the magazine. Saw that on social media. Karen, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you so much. I guess being selected as Woman of the Year by BC Business was not on my bingo card, but it was an absolute honor. It was a total surprise. I was interviewed and thought I might be possibly selected for my category and had no idea that they were going to select me for the cover. It's not lost on me that you don't often see, women of South Asian heritage on the cover of mainstream business magazines. It's very rare. So I felt that, I wasn't just representing myself on this cover. I did feel like I was representing my whole community, and I'm hopefully inspiring, future generations of girls and women to see themselves on a cover like that and as a possibility for them too. It was really exciting.
Very exciting, very inspirational. Again, congratulations. You also have had a great career in marketing. Tell the audience a little bit about your journey to being a marketing executive at OSI Digital. What was that path like? I often hear folks say it was very zigzaggy. It wasn't linear, but give us that backstory.
Yeah, so I spent about 25 plus years in marketing, PR, and corporate communications, all different functional areas within an organization, but they relate, and there's similar muscles and talent and skills that you need across those industries, those roles. So I have worked predominantly in tech, and I work for everything from small tech startups to Canada's one of the largest telcos, to one of the world's largest conglomerates with GE. That's just to name a few. So, I've had some pretty vast experience in different industries and a chance to flex these marketing muscles to elevate some incredible brands, but really small, mid-size, large. And that's the advice that I give to people starting out, is just to get experience in a lot of different spaces and figure out where you learn some things, right? Break some things, but really learn where your talents and skills, align. And all of that work has led me to OSI Digital in the current role that I'm in.
That's awesome. So think you have great breadth. And of course, we know not only has marketing evolved so much in the last 10 years, it's so scientific now, which is why we named the show Marketing, Art, and Science. It's not just the art piece, it's the science piece too. But we also know that the marketing role is different at different types of organizations. So it sounds like what you've seen and what you've experienced as a marketing leader is different based on where the company is in its journey. And that probably helps really also inform maybe some of your advice to those that want to follow in your footsteps, is get that perspective and lean into how things are different if a company is pre-IPO, if it's post-IPO, if it's in an acquisition phase, because all those are really important to creating that breadth that you have.
100%. You really have to understand, you have to be lock and step with the business priorities of the company, and not just understand what the company is today, but where they want to be. And, I really see marketing as a change agent to help the organization get there. So it's critical that we have full visibility on the strategy, have inputs into the strategy so that we can go, align our efforts with it. So it's really important. It should never be considered as an afterthought. In fact, marketing should be 10 steps ahead and really help be that goalpost to where an organization wants to be. And I definitely saw that when I was working with small startups, right, in building kind of the vision, the hope of this brand, and then eventually the company, gets there, and it's really exciting. I've been a part of, major acquisitions. One of the largest Canadian tech acquisitions with the purchase of Bits2 Systems by GE. Digital. So marketing had a very strategic hand in making that happen. It's a valued partner in any organization.
It is. Speaking of value partners, talk to the audience a little bit about OSI Digital. I met you through my work with Boomi. We've had their CMO, Allison Biggin. She was on the show a couple of weeks ago. But talk to the audience a little bit about OSI Digital. How are you helping customers optimize performance, accelerate that all-important digital transformation? And then where does partner marketing fit into that strategy?
So OSI celebrates 30 years in business, founded in California and now operating, worldwide. And our company is really focused on being that digital transformation provider. So helping companies move through and really capitalize on everything from automation and AI and machine intelligence and all of these incredible technologies. And, we do that through the expertise of our people. Our people understand business and they understand tech. So, we're not out there selling widgets. What we are selling is the expertise of our team. It is the relationships. It is very much a relationship-driven company and a really strong commitment to customer excellence, which is legendary at OSI. And, what's been exciting is just being a part of that growth. I've been with this company for 8 years. And, this year we expanded, globally, and I've just been a part of that wave. So in partners, you mentioned partners, we work with some of the world's leading tech platforms, including Boomi, Salesforce, NetSuite, and Oracle. And that's really our sweet spot, is understanding how these major platforms, not just how they work, but how they work together and how the data moves from these platforms. And we help integrate that data. We help our customers leverage that data so that they're getting the most value from these massive technology investments that they're making. And that's OSI's sweet spot. That's what makes us different.
That's fantastic that you're talking about the integration piece, because we have this expectation, I think, in our consumer lives that bleeds over into our business lives, that all the experiences that we have, whatever brand we're interacting with, whether it's an e-commerce purchase or a rideshare transaction, it's going to be connected, integrated, seamless, omni-channel, relevant, personalized, and all of that is driven by marketing and the data. So kind of interesting parallels there. Speaking of data, I would love to understand how you're bringing in the data science piece into OSI Digital Marketing, and what that MarTech stack looks like that is helping to convert those prospects to those vocal, loyal advocates.
So our MarTech stack includes a very well-known marketing automation platform called HubSpot. So we use HubSpot for everything, from email campaigns to landing pages for our website to social media management. It's really critical that we have an automation tool. We're a relatively small team, and we've got to get a lot of stuff done and we've got to do it well. So it was really important that we invest in a tool that allows us to manage a very high volume of digital campaigns, both efficiently and effectively. And HubSpot, it does that for us. So, it's all about automating workflows, optimization, greater impact. And it's the right tool for a company of our size as well.
Talk a little bit about kind of flexing those muscles of the science piece, the art piece, because I always think of them as levers. Then the data will help inform what's working, what needs to be course corrected. But I'd love to kind of get your perspective on the fusion of the artistry and the science at OSI and how it's helping not only OSI to differentiate itself, but its partners in the communities as well.
Yeah, I love these questions because I really haven't thought a lot about, the art and the science of marketing, but it truly is. It really is those two things coming together. And when they come together well, that's where the magic happens, right? So to me, like, the true art of marketing is about balancing creativity and strategic thinking, both of those things together, understanding your customer behavior, effectively communicating your value prop, and then driving results, right? And that creativity really speaks to your brand's presence, your storytelling, in terms of the digital content you create. And that's a really big thing for us. For us, our storytelling is, through the voice of our customer and customer use cases, and really the proof points, right? Those are the proof points that we can then share with prospects and sell. Like, this is what we're able to achieve for, customer A or B. So really that art is the, kind of elegant modern design is part of the art, a modern technology brand, building that is part of the art, which OSI has developed into in the time that I've been here. And, people don't realize this, but, I hand select every single image that is used in all of our campaigns on our website. It goes through me because I understand the art of our brand, and it has to reflect who we are, and it has to convey modern technology and in action. And so that's what you see when you see a lot of OSI's imagery, and it takes me a lot of time, but to me, that is sort of the magic of the art in marketing.
That's awesome. That's fantastic that you're so involved there from a creative perspective. When you look at key performance metrics, what are some of the ones that you measure that boil up to the C-suite, for example, in terms of marketing's impact on the business, on revenue? And how is the MarTech stack helping you to deliver some of those results that the business is wowed by?
Yeah. So for us, marketing does drive revenues, and we do that through attracting and training prospects who then convert to customers, right? So that could be building brand awareness. We do that through education. So I mentioned how, we're not selling widgets. What we are bringing to the market is our expertise, our deep business and technical expertise. So we do that by hosting a variety of webinars, which are learning and educational opportunities, but really it's showcasing how we did that thing for a real customer, right? And so we invite prospects to attend. We see competitors attending. These webinars really allow us to showcase our deep expertise and reach a wide global audience. So I had mentioned that we've expanded our footprint and brand into new regions, including Europe and Japan, APJ. So we're hosting webinars for these markets, and we're combining that with relevant, assets, case studies, white papers. It's really allowed us to, leverage this thought leadership strategy and generate leads in brand new spaces that we've never been before. So it's exciting. And we're getting to know those markets, and we know what is keeping, the CTOs up at night, and we're building our campaigns around that. It's been really exciting, and it's been a huge expansion of my role this year.
Oh, that's exciting. How is the marketing technology stack helping to deliver that in terms of the impact, or enabling you to understand different customers and new markets? What's the tech stack's influence there?
So what's exciting is that we can see, when we're working with a prospect, their life cycle with us. They've attended these webinars, they're interested in these topics, or they're going in and they're downloading, these specific data sheets. So we can see how they're engaging with us, and the tool does allow us to collect data about our customer, and it acts as sort of a CRM, and along with being that automation tool, it's both things. So we're using MarTech in ways that we can track and we can analyze individual customer behaviors in real time. We can see what is working and what isn't, and then we can customize our campaigns to specific target audiences, which is really powerful. And honestly, I think that we've only tapped into the potential of that. I think there's so much more that we can do to really capitalize on the tools that we have. But there's so much more potential there.
It's so important to be able to have the visibility that you talked about. It isn't a nice to have anymore. As we've seen marketing evolve so much the last 10 years alone, it's table stakes, that visibility. Who's engaging with us? What are they engaging with? What messages are resonating? What isn't? Is just foundational for marketing organizations to be able to take those prospects to leads, to opportunities, to booked business. No longer is that, that's great if we have some tools. It's one of the things probably that you use to differentiate OSI Digital.
Absolutely. And like I said, with things like A/B testing, we're able to test different messages, based on the audience. And there's so much more that we can do. I think truly we have just, it's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what we've been able to capitalize on. And, just seeing how the expansion into new markets this year so seamlessly, through the marketing tools that we already have, has helped us significantly. We've been able to move quickly. It's been really exciting to see that.
Talk about the use of, Gen AI came on the scene about 20 months ago. AI has been around for decades, as we all know, but the catalyst that Gen AI has been for every company to use that powered by AI everywhere. I go to so many technology conferences, cover so many different companies and interview executives across the board, and it's everywhere. What I love to understand is how are organizations, particularly marketing leaders, using emerging technologies like AI, Gen AI, automation, predictive analytics to really fine tune that value prop so that the differentiation is there. What are some of the practical applications of automation, AI, Gen AI in OSI Digital that are really moving the levers?
So I truly believe as a marketer that if you're not learning or strategizing on how to leverage AI in your job today, that there is a danger that your role will become obsolete. You will get asked, you will get tapped on the shoulder saying, hey, how are you working with this new technology? So, in marketing, producing digital content is the biggest challenge for us, right? We're constantly trying to churn out, really strong content in a timely manner. And we're really good at that. And, I've personally, and my team has already started leveraging, tools like ChatGPT. And really what it is a starting point to drive research on certain topics and look at how, these, certain technologies being positioned in the industry. But it's not, you don't just stop there, right? So you then have to take that content and you have to edit it, turn it into the OSI voice. You have to insert your value prop. You have to know how to do that. But by just, getting there to that point saves us a lot of time, to have to go out and do research. We can get that instantaneously. So we are actually able to produce content even more quickly than we have in the past. And to be honest, you still need the human. You still need the human to do that, right? And I feel that's where you showcase your value to your organization. Is that yes, I'm leveraging AI, but I'm the one that is turning it into marketing gold, right? At the end of the day. And I really have learned over my decades in tech is that we have to be flexible and we have to be adaptable and we have to move with it, right? And if we don't do that, you will get left behind. So, study emerging technologies and figure out how to work with them so that you don't just survive in your industry, you also thrive.
Definitely. I talk with CMOs every week, and that's a running theme in terms of leveraging tools like Gen AI, ChatGPT, other Gen AI platforms to do things like even overhauling parts of websites where they're seeing faster conversions. I was just on Schwab Network the other day talking about the AI revolution and said, there's so much visibility on Gen AI and the big companies that are helping to power it. And the investments are billions, hundreds of billions of dollars a year. So now we're seeing investors kind of really put the spotlight on some of those big companies. What are the results? How do you justify the spend on emerging technologies and infrastructure? And what are some of the results it's generating? Whereas the conundrum is a lot of organizations are still in the early phases of pilot projects or really we're going to start using this technology to drive efficiencies. Like you talked about, being able to create and customize content faster, being able to probably ultimately convert a prospect to a lead, to an opportunity, to a customer faster, to impact revenue. I think it's all there. Do you feel any sort of pressure using emerging technologies to be able to demonstrate that? Is that something that's kind of on your radar?
Not yet, but I do think that it's coming, and that to be able to, future cast, like where are we going? What are the future trends? What are our customer behaviors? I think AI and predictive analytics has a huge potential for that for us. And we have just tapped into that, right? And our customers are asking for it too, by the way. They are coming to OSI and saying, how do we leverage AI within our businesses? And, we're working with them to figure out the best way forward. And truly, it is about future proofing not just your jobs, but it's about future proofing your business as well. So I think that we're just, we're in a brave new world right now.
Yeah. Well, it's so dynamic. I mean, things are changing constantly across the board in every industry. No company is safe from it, if you will. So being able to adjust those levers using emerging technologies is really foundational for organizations these days. What's your advice to other marketing leaders who maybe aren't dipping their toes in the water yet when it comes to predictive analytics, automation, Gen AI? I mean, I can't imagine they're pretty far behind if they're not dipping their toes in the water, or at least defining some business use cases where those tools should be applied.
So I think it's one of the biggest benefits of AI right now is understanding your customer and really then personalizing your marketing, right? So we know that AI can leverage, large amounts of customer data. So you can understand your customers' behaviors, their insights, their preferences, purchasing decisions, all of those things, right? So I think organizations really need to tap into the potential of that, and then maybe shift change could be their supply chain, right? In terms of the things that they have on inventory. So, we saw that through COVID, especially, there was a huge break in the supply chain. And,
yes.
a lot of our customers were really struggling at that time to fulfill customer needs and expectations. So I think that now the brave world of the future is to really understand the whole supply chain and your operations and resources and all of that, and AI can help with that. So this is one of the biggest opportunities that is out there. And for sure, from an OSI perspective, we feel that we can help. We've done a few webinars, by the way, on just supply chain disruption and how technology can help avoid that. So there's a huge opportunity in this space.
The visibility that you talked about is also absolutely critical these days. Organizations need to be able to see into everything like it's absolutely see-through transparent. But I like how you talked about really leveraging emerging technologies, AI, Gen AI, predictive analytics to understand the customer. Because at the end of the day, customers have this expectation that in our consumer lives comes into our business lives, that any brand we interact with is going to know us, service relevant content, personalize the experience, and make it omni-channel so that I can engage on whatever channel I want, and you're going to be able to follow me in a non-creepy way to make that experience really tailored to me so that I, as the customer, feel valued. There's transparency, there's trust within the organization. And it's really, I think, foundational for marketers these days to infuse that into their organization, because it does really boil up to the top. It does affect companies' bottom line. And I think the more stories like that can be told, I think the more value folks will see in AI and Gen AI as a good thing rather than something to be afraid of.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree.
So Karen, you did a great job of explaining a lot of the artistry and the impact that it makes that you've already made. Where does the science piece of marketing come into, and how do you kind of pull those levers to deliver what the end user customer is expecting?
So to me, the science is always the integration and the automation of various marketing tools into one system of use, right? So for us currently, I mentioned, we use HubSpot. So, we're able to hit multiple channels and audiences with just one click. It's very seamless. And the goal of a very well-designed MarTech stack is to take those tools, integrate them seamlessly, optimize your marketing efforts, and as a result, drive leads, drive revenue, right? That's, to me, really the science. And then being able to look back and track all the results of your campaigns in real time, have real-time insights, be able to test things, make changes. And to me, that is the real science of marketing, is that there is a whole lot of data underlying that we now have access to that we may not have had in the past. And your value is really being able to leverage that data.
Yeah, that visibility, you mentioned real time, that's key as well. I think we have this expectation that we're going to have real-time experiences with whatever brand we're interacting with. But to your point, marketing has evolved so much over the last 10 years. It's why we have the title of the show the way that it is. It's not just the artistry and the sizzle, the creativity. That science piece is so beneficial because it probably empowers you much more than it ever has to really empower the rest of the organization. We talked a lot about AI, Karen, generative AI, your use cases, some of the things that you're doing now, and I'm sure some great things coming up in the future. When people think of AI, there's a lot of fear factor out there in the mass media. And I think as marketers and technology, I think we have a responsibility to be able to share some of the positive use cases that are already coming, but we can't talk about AI without talking about ethics. What are some of the ethical considerations with respect to AI that you bring into what you're doing?
Yeah, you think about it, we're consumers as well, right? So, we can definitely tell when we've been marketed to. So we have to be really careful and cautious about that. And in terms of my role, we're very cautious about the frequency and the amount of touch points that we have when we're reaching out to new prospects and current customers. We're very respectful of just inundating people with information and data. So I think that you have to have that sense of sort of responsibility with your campaigns. I feel that since AI relies very heavily on data and collecting personal information so that you can train the algorithms, we have to prioritize data privacy and be fully transparent about how we're using that data, right? So, for example, we need consent for data collection, and we have to ensure that we're using tools that have security so that we're not having data breaches. We've seen this happen. We've seen it in the news, where, large organizations, data is being breached. So, that's the worst case scenario. So, like I said, so as consumers ourselves, we just want to know the things that we're concerned about are the same things that our customers are concerned about too, right? So AI definitely needs to build in some form of accountability and ethical compliance. But, I still think that we're in the early stages. It's much like, the advent of the internet, right? There is no governance. And I think that will come. It's needed. And, it's once we get to a little bit more accountability and compliance around AI is where we create a safe new world.
Great points. Accountability factor is key. And also that transparency, because that equals trust. It easily converts to trust, which is, you talked about the relationship building that OSI does with its folks internally, with its customers. And that is absolutely critical these days and really helps set organizations apart.
Yeah. We don't want to see unsubscribes, right? Like that means
no.
When a customer gets to that point, they're frustrated. And, we've been hitting them with the wrong things, right? So I think we're really cautious about making sure that, the information that we're sending out or anytime we're outreaching to a customer prospect, that we're not just exhausting them, with information that's not relevant to their business. It has to mean something, has to be meaningful. And, then we know that they're going to want to continue to engage with us from a marketing perspective. And I think it's something that, a lot of organizations don't take to heart. And, that is why we'll lose, you will get blocked for sure.
So then we'll kind of wrap up here. I always say failure is not a bad F word. We learn so much from our failures. Well, we should. And that's in business life. That's in personal life as well. Share a story of a business initiative, a marketing initiative that wasn't going according to plan, or a shift change in the organization that you came in and really helped convert it to a very favorable, fantastic victory for the business.
So I can share a story of what really started out as a failure, but turned into something pretty fab. And I learned myself as a marketer through the journey. Is when I started with OSI in 2018, we were going to change the name. I proposed that we change the name from OSI Consulting to OSI Digital, and really position the company from this traditional consulting company to more of a digital transformation provider. It was, really where we needed to go. There was a lot of resistance to this change, this name change globally, because of course the name, it touches so many things. It touches the brand, but it touches all aspects of the business as well, from letterhead to the website, to invoices, to building signage, just so much. And there was a resistance as to, we've been called this name for 25 years. Why do we need to change it? We've had some success. So I came to realize that resistance was not due to, people just digging their heels in or not wanting to do the work, because it also meant a lot of work for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. it was just about not really understanding the need for the change. So in that moment, I realized that marketing has an incredible power to serve as that change agent, right? Through engagement, communications, and then helping, masses and broad groups understand the need for the change. And each group cared about different things. So I spent a lot of time listening, what are their concerns? Okay, international has these concerns. Concerns are different for people who are working in admin. Different functions had different concerns. So, because it would have different impacts for them. So I really listened, treated it like an overall sort of global project, and then helped them also. I listened, but I also explained and I helped them understand the mission of why we needed to move to a digital transformation company. And they bought in. And I feel like once people understand the mission and you've explained it and you've built that trust, they will go with you. Yeah. And that is essentially what happened. It took time. It was, I would say a 6-month project, which is relatively fast. But it was if I had come in as a new person and just said, this is a change, this change has to happen, it would have been a complete failure. And I think understanding all of those nuances, also even cultural differences, right? Across
definitely cultural
global, understanding all of that and treating everybody's voice with giving them the dignity of expressing their concerns and listening and addressing them. I understood the power of engagement, and we were then successful. But to be very honest with you, could have completely gone the other way. And, people from all aspects did what was expected of them, so that the day of announcement and the press release goes out, everything was changed over seamlessly to OSI Digital because we had the whole company behind this mission. And it has been, I have personally seen the charts of, the revenue going up since 2018, because it definitely opened doors for us to customers to be able to explain, we're not just the stodgy traditional consulting company. We are going to help you, realize your digital transformation goals. That's what we do. That's who we are. So it was really exciting to be a part of that with OSI, and I'm still, it's an ever evolving brand even today.
Sure.
We continue to adapt it based on what the market is doing. So it's very exciting.
It's a great example of marketing as a change agent. Probably one of the best examples I've heard in a very long time, because to your point, it could have gone the other way. And you brought up the cultural piece. That's huge. When even from a brand perspective, what OSI Digital helps customers do, digitally transform, even that isn't successful without the culture coming along with it. You talked about OSI being 30 years old. I think Amazon just celebrated its 30th birthday, which I can't even believe. But when you're history and you have all this information behind you, it's harder to pivot. But it sounds like you did this in a 6-month time frame. What was the customer reaction? Because when they come to you going, help, we have to digitize, especially COVID was a catalyst for that. What was the customer reaction to, oh, I get it now? Because it sounds to me like that's a differentiation piece for OSI.
It is. And, a lot of the feedback came to me informally through sales reps, through our executives saying, hey, this is this shift change that we've had with our brand is making us the doors open more quickly for us. We're getting in more quickly because, of course, customers come on your website and they want to get to, who is this company, who are we dealing with? And, if they see something that, doesn't look like an innovative modern technology company, why are they going to want to do business with you, right? And another thing that I did that was different was really, I mentioned, our people and our expertise is our business, is the brand, right? Is bringing more of the OSI people to the forefront and featuring them and featuring their expertise so that customers see that and they want to do business with us, right? Because they like us and they trust us.
Yeah.
And that was missing in the OSI Consulting brand. So, the bringing the human aspect to a technology company is really important. And I did that through profiling employees and continue to do that. So and then also it shows the breadth of our team, right? The depth of
Yes.
our bench. So the feedback from our customers was incredibly positive. And, like I said, our revenues align with the name change and a lot of the efforts that we've done with marketing. It's no coincidence that bar chart has gone up since 2018. And also just, I put it back and I give that credit to, again, the power and the depth of the team and the people that we hire is, we build long-term relationships with our partners and
Yep.
we build long-term relationships with our customers. It's incredible.
It's absolutely incredible. And it is essential for organizations to differentiate themselves and do well. And I think the whole theme of this show is really how marketing is a change agent, leveraging people, leveraging technologies, emerging technologies, processes, and ultimately ensuring that the employee experience and the customer experience, which are like this, are really healthy and solid. And I think that it sounds like you've done a great job at OSI Digital, Karen. Thank you so much for being on the program, sharing the OSI story, how marketing is really pivotal to the success of the organization, its customers, and how it really empowers change across even history to organizations. We really appreciate your insights and your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right, mine too. We want to thank you for watching this latest episode of Marketing, Art, and Science, reminding you that the next one is coming out in 2 weeks. So we'll see you then. For Karen Dosanjh, I'm Lisa Martin. Thanks for watching, everyone.